So let's talk about some of the words that in the United States or in English we use often when talking about the elderly. So some of you already talked about this, okay? But the first one is a nursing home, okay? So FIFA mentioned that her culture or her community or her country does have nursing homes, right? But they're kind of, we would say, this is a phrasal verb, looked down on. Okay, so when you look down, right, on something, you're bigger than something, right? If you're looking down on a child, you are taller than that child, right? You are looking down. But figuratively, with phrasal verbs, if I'm saying you look down upon something, it means it's not a good thing. You kind of disagree with it, you're ashamed of it, you don't like it. So we might say like, talking about someone's weight in the United States is looked down on, right? It's not approved. You shouldn't say that someone's fat. Calling someone fat is looked down on in the United States, right? So we say that a lot. Or like, I'm trying to think of other things. If you say it's wrong to be gay, right? If a boy loves a boy, right? We say, oh, that's so wrong. People might say, hey, that's not wrong, right? It's looked down upon to be mean about that, right? Or for those kinds of examples, like something is looked down upon. So in different cultures, putting your parents in a nursing home can be looked down upon, right? You're like, disapprove of that. Like Gonzalo said, oh my goodness, it's an honor to take care of my parents or my grandparents or my aunts or uncles that need help. Of course we will help them, right? It would be looked down on to say, no, go away, go into a nursing home, okay? But a nursing home in the United States is not really looked down on. In fact, it's very normal, pretty normal to put your elderly parents or grandparents in a nursing home, okay? So a nursing home is a special hospital where older people live until they die. Wow, that is a really sad definition, but I guess that is what it is. Like, wow, that's so sad. But yeah, it is. It's a certain hospital, basically, that takes care of the elderly for you, right? It doesn't mean that they have, like, they're laying in bed all day, every day. Typically, in nursing home, a person will have their own room, their bed, their dresser, their desk, maybe a little kitchen with a refrigerator or whatever. That's what my grandfather had, right? But then they live in a building, and nurses come and they check on them and make sure they're eating and going to the bathroom and they have taken their medicine, okay? So a nursing home is not a bad thing in the United States. In fact, it's normal. Okay, so but it's a special hospital, a place where the elderly go to get taken care of. Okay? A parent sitter, we say, is a person who takes care of one or both of their parents. So instead of a babysitter who takes care of children, you're a parent sitter. You take care of your parents. Okay? We call those people parent sitters. Okay? Now, FIFA was the only one who mentioned sometimes we feel shame or guilt. We don't feel good about putting our parents in a nursing home because the nursing homes are not very good. Okay, so we call that either ashamed or guilty. Okay, so if you're guilty of something, we talk about that being like you are in the wrong, part G, or letter G. You are feeling as if you have done something wrong. You're guilty of it. Okay, do you know that word, guilty?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So you feel guilty, right? You feel wrong. You feel like, oh no, I cheated on the test and now I feel bad. It's your conscience. We call it your conscience in you saying you feel bad about something. You feel guilty.
Teacher, is not the same when the judge said you are guilty, you will go to prison.
Yes. Not the same. So you are guilty means like you have done that wrong thing. So if someone says you are guilty, or I am guilty, that means I have done the wrong thing. Like,
All
it's
right.
for sure. If you say I feel guilty, it means you feel bad. Like, you feel like you did something wrong. So similar meaning, but a little bit different wording.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good question though. What is Alzheimer's? We call it Alzheimer's. It's a really weird word, Alzheimer's.
It's a
disease.
it's a disease, but when the people cannot remember what he did.
That's exactly right. It's a disease, and it causes a person to lose their memory and sometimes their ability to move, physically to move. But if someone has Alzheimer's, they cannot remember things. Okay, so when you are older, when you are some, not a lot, I will say, I don't really know. Some elderly people have Alzheimer's and they have to go. Oops, sorry, someone's trying to join. Here we go. And they have to go to the nursing home because they can't remember things, right? So maybe they put their dinner in the oven and then they forget that they put their dinner in the oven, and then a fire starts or their dinner burns, right? So if you start to get Alzheimer's, you will often be put in a nursing home, okay? Diet. Do you know what a diet is?
Mhm.
Yeah.
The amount of food, like if you have a healthy diet, what you eat, good things. It's what the food that you eat and that you drink. Okay, so sometimes people have to go into the nursing homes because maybe they have a really bad diet and they need help and they're older and they can't cook for themselves anymore, or they don't know what food to make anymore. Okay, another reason is blindness. Blind, you can't see, right? So if you are blind, it means you cannot see anymore, and so you might need to go into a nursing home. Okay, what about the word middle-aged? If I say to you, yeah, my dad, he's a middle-aged man.
It's like 40, 50 years old.
Exactly right. Yes, it's between 40 and 50 years old-ish, 40 to 60 maybe.
Right.
Yeah, people who are between the ages of 40 and 60. Good. So that is considered a middle-aged person. Okay, so you are considered young if you are under 40. You are considered middle-aged if you are between 40 and 60. And you are considered elderly. All of this is relative, but you are considered elderly if you are 65 and above. Okay, so if I say to my dad right now, who's 55, Dad, I think it's time to put you in a nursing home. He would laugh and say, I can't even go to a nursing home. I'm middle-aged. You have to be 65 to go into a nursing home. And I might say, okay, 10 more years and I'm putting you in a nursing home. We joke about it sometimes.
That's cool.
If he's mean to me, I might say to him, well, Dad, I have the ability to put you in a nursing home when you're old. So be careful. I'm the one that decides when you can't decide for yourself that you're going in a nursing home. So we do make jokes about that. Okay. What about the word duty? It is my duty to take care of my parents when they get old.
Responsibility.
Yeah.
Exactly. My responsibility or obligation. It is my duty, my responsibility, my obligation. So it is, you might say, in your countries or your communities, it's my duty to take care of my parents or my grandparents. It is an honor. It is my duty. It is my responsibility, right? It is my obligation. Okay. And then finally, we have the word ashamed. If you feel ashamed of something, what do you feel?
Feel embarrassed about something.
Embarrassed?
Yeah. So guilty and ashamed are very similar. So guilty means you did something wrong and you know it and you feel bad about it. If you feel ashamed, you feel almost like embarrassed for what you did. So some people might feel, if I put my dad in a nursing home, right, I might feel a little bit ashamed. Not necessarily. This is just an example. But I would feel ashamed. If I put him in a nursing home and he's only 55 years old, I think I should feel a little bit ashamed, right? Like, oh my goodness, I put him in a nursing home. He's so young. Okay. So you feel kind of embarrassed about something that you've done. So guilt and shame, feeling guilty and ashamed, kind of go together, right? You did something wrong. You feel bad about that thing. And then you might feel shame about it, right? Regret. You regret doing it. You're embarrassed about it. Okay.
Sure.
So this topic about caring for the elderly, a lot of these words we say because people can feel guilty and they can feel shame if they put a parent in the nursing home, for example, right? Maybe a parent has Alzheimer's, or they become blind, or they cannot walk anymore. You say, I cannot take care of my parent. I still have to work. I have children. And you put them in a nursing home. Okay? So these are different small paragraphs that use these words, and they will tell you a little bit more about what it looks like to be a senior citizen, especially in the United States. Okay, so does someone want to read number 1? These will just use what we have looked at. Can you see it okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Senior, me.
Sarai, do
Okay.
you want to read the first one?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Let's say senior citizen are the fastest growing population in the world. The improvement in healthcare and diet are helping people to have longer and better lives.
Mhm.
Some seniors are able to live normal lives and care of themselves until a very old age. Many seniors need caretakers
Mhm.
at some point in their lives. More and more middle-aged adults are responsible for taking care of their aging parents. These people are often called parent sisters.
Perfect.
Parent sisters.
Yeah,
What means?
parent sitters. So it's like a
Ah.
babysitter
Ah.
for your parent. Yes.
Parent sitters.
Parent sitters, they call them
Oh.
sometimes. Yes. Good. Good. So senior citizens are growing, right? Their health care is improving, diet is improving. Okay. Many seniors might need caretakers at some point in their lives. Some people's parents are doing that. Some people are putting their parents in nursing homes. Okay. Who wants to read the second paragraph? Does anyone want to read it?
I'll do it, teacher.
Me. Oh,
Okay. Vanessa, you're doing the third one.
okay.
Okay, go ahead, Veronica.
Okay. Parent sitters often have their elderly parents move in with them. The parent sitters usually have busy lives raising their own children, going to school or working full-time jobs. It is especially difficult to take care of a parent who suffers from an illness or disability, such as blindness, Alzheimer's, or arthritis.
Okay.
Good. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, Vanessa, go ahead.
How do you pronounce arthritis?
Arthritis.
All right.
Yeah, in the fingers, like in your joints. Do you know what arthritis is? They get like big, and it's difficult
Yeah.
for you to move your joints.
All right.
It's similar in Spanish.
Arthritis? What is it again?
Arthritis.
Arthritis.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Yeah.
Arthritis.
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 Right.
Arthritis.
Arthritis.
Right.
Sometimes. Start?
Yeah.
Sometimes parent-siders will decide to put a parent in a nursing home. This usually happens when the parents become very ill and require 24-hour care.
Mhm.
This decision is very difficult and often leaves the child feeling guilty and ashamed. Many people feel it's the oldest child's duty to take care of aging parent. However, it is usually the child who lives close to the parents who ends up taking on most of the responsibility.
Good. Perfect. Yes, it is usually the child who lives closest, right? And Veronica, were you saying that? I think it was you. Yeah. That said whoever lives closest
Yeah.
typically will help take care of that parent or elderly relative.
Mhm.
So yes, that can be similar. Perfect. Good. Okay, Gonzalo, will you read number 4?
Yeah, of course. Nowadays, people are often living into their 90s. The children of these seniors may be seniors themselves.
Mm-hmm.
The choice of caring for aging parents at home or putting parents in a nursing home is a very difficult one. Finding a nursing home that has space for an aging parents is also difficult. Many seniors spend weeks, months, or even years waiting for a room to become available.
Perfect. Good. Good pronunciation, you guys. You're really improving, seriously, in your pronunciation. So good work. Yeah. So nowadays, they're saying people, especially in the United States, are living into their 90s. So my grandfather, who just passed away 3 or 4 weeks ago, he was 100 when he died.
Well,
And so my
Wow.
aunt, who is his oldest daughter, is 70 years old, right? So she is an elder, technically, herself, or a senior herself. And she's trying to take care of her father at 70 years old.
Wow.
So it's interesting to see how, how parents are getting older, of course, but they're staying well and living longer so that sometimes even their own children become seniors and they are still
Yeah.
living. So it can become difficult kind of to what do you do? Now you're a senior, you have to take care of yourself, all of that. Okay. So we kind of already just talked about vocabulary, but I want to give us enough time, okay, to discuss what we have just talked about. Okay. So I'm going to put you into 2 groups. Okay. So I should probably take a picture of this. Just a minute. So I'll send this in the WhatsApp because you'll be in different groups. Okay. So one group. So first, I want you to talk about these questions. Do you think it's wrong to put a parent in a nursing home? Okay. Who is responsible for caring for the elderly? Do you think that only the oldest child in the family should be responsible? What do you think is the best way to care for the elderly? Is it good that people are living longer lives? Okay, so those are things that I want you guys to talk about in English, of course. Okay, and then we are going to have a small debate. Okay, so our debate is going to be the second topic. It says elderly parents who cannot take care of themselves should live in a nursing home. Okay, so after you are split up into 2 groups, first I want you to discuss these 5 questions. Okay, and then we will come back together. And then one group will say elderly parents who cannot take care of themselves should live in a nursing home. And another group will say they should not. Okay?
Okay.
So first, I want you in your group to talk about these 5 questions. Hang on, I'm going to send them in the WhatsApp right now. So So you have them.
Do you agree or not agree?
Okay. And then I will have one group say, even if you do not agree, one group will say, I agree, they should be going to nursing home. And another group should say, no, I don't agree. Okay. So we will decide who is in those groups. So you might have to say, so I might say, okay, Jim, you are in the group that agrees. And Jim might say, well, I don't agree. But that's the point of the debate. You have to argue what your group is, okay? So even if you don't agree, it'll be good to use your English to argue whatever your group is, okay? So first I want you to just discuss those questions with your group, okay? And then one group will say, I agree, and one group will disagree. But first, and you'll be in the same group that you were before, okay? Okay, so join your groups that you're in now, only in English, and talk about those questions.